Hello and welcome everybody. I am Rukmini Saha and welcome to yet another episode of Market Yatra. आज के एपिसोड में हम बात करने वाले हैं about all those interesting facts that you must know about the stock market. तो चलिए शुरू करते हैं आज का एपिसोड and let's welcome our expert Mr. Amar Singh.
Thank you, Rukmini, and welcome, dear friends.
Thank you so much, sir, for joining us today. हम आगे बढ़ें उससे पहले make sure you subscribe to our channel and click on the bell icon ताकि आप आज जैसे कोई भी इंटरेस्टिंग एपिसोड्स मिस ना करें। मैं आपको ये भी बता दूं कि ये वीडियो सिर्फ एजुकेशनल पर्पस के लिए है। मार्केट से रिलेटेड और वीडियोस के लिए आप हमारे चैनल एंजल वन को फॉलो कीजिए। तो चलिए आगे बढ़ते हैं। सो अमर जी, आई एम श्योर आज का एपिसोड बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग होने वाला है क्योंकि हम बात करने वाले हैं अबाउट दोज इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्ट्स जो स्टॉक मार्केट को दर्शाता है। तो ऐसे ही कोई फैक्ट्स अमर जी, इफ यू कुड शेयर विद अस।
Yeah, sure. Why not? देखिए, Indian stock markets, they've had a very long history, and I would say going back centuries. But over the last, I would say, 35 years, we've seen exponential growth of the markets. Earlier, though, it was all physical. The markets were physical, and there was buying and selling, which was happening physically. And then we had NSE come in the early 1990s with technology in place. उससे पहले it was BSE, which was the major exchange. Then NSE came with technology, and then it was a complete transformation for everyone. जो भी trade कर रहा था, invest कर रहा था, उनके लिए complete transformation हो गया. तो ओवरऑल कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग फैक्ट्स की मैं बात करूं तो सबसे पहले मैं मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन पे बात करूंगा. इसके बारे में काफी बात होती है, लोग इसे समझते भी हैं. तो मार्केट कैप इज द टोटल वैल्यू ऑफ द आउटस्टैंडिंग शेयर्स. तो चाहे वो, यदि आप कंपनी की बात करें तो कंपनी के लिए वैलिड होगा. यदि पूरे इकोनॉमी के लिए बात करें, जितने भी स्टॉक्स कंपनीज लिस्टेड है ऑन द एक्सचेंजेस, उनकी वैल्यू की बात करें तो दैट वुड बी रफली अराउंड in today's scenario, that would be roughly around I would say 4 trillion, more than almost $4 trillion. So that's the sort of market cap that we are having in the Indian markets. So roughly it would be more than 350 lakh crores. तो जो मार्केट कैप होता है उसमें जो कंपनीज लिस्ट होती हैं उनकी वैल्यू बढ़ती है. तो कंपनीज की वैल्यू कैसे बढ़ती है? जब वहां उनकी रेवेन्यूज बढ़ती है, उनकी प्रॉफिट्स बढ़ते हैं, कंपनी की एक्सपेंशन होती है, तो कंपनी के शेयर वैल्यू बढ़ता है, जिससे वेल्थ क्रिएट होता है. तो उससे मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन बढ़ता है. इसके अलावा नए नए कंपनीज जो है वो आईपीओज लेके आते हैं, एंड अदर अपार्ट फ्रॉम दैट एग्जिस्टिंग कंपनीज जो है वो राइट्स इशू लाती हैं टू रेज मोर कैपिटल फ्रॉम द मार्केट, और उस पैसे को वो इन्वेस्ट करती हैं अपनी कंपनीज में, अगेन फॉर ग्रोइंग. तो इससे मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन बढ़ता है, इससे वेल्थ क्रिएशन होता है. और ओवर पीरियड ऑफ टाइम वी हैव सीन दैट post the 1990s economic liberalization taken initiated by late Shri P.V. Narasimha Rao, our former prime minister. तो उनके पीरियड में, और डॉक्टर मनमोहन सिंह was the finance minister, तो उस पीरियड में जो इकोनॉमिक रिफॉर्म्स जो शुरू हुए, that continues till date, and we are more of a investor friendly economy. Still a long way to go compared to the leading economies, but we have come a long way. तो होता क्या है कि जो FIIs हैं वो इन्वेस्ट कर रही हैं पैसा, तो उससे भी मार्केट कैपिटलाइजेशन पे इफेक्ट पड़ता है. और दूसरा, यदि आप जो इंडाइसेस यदि बात करें, चाहे वो सेंसेक्स हो, चाहे वो निफ्टी हो, मेजर जो इंडाइसेस हैं, तो इनमें भी जो लोग निवेश किए हैं या लॉन्ग टर्म निवेश किए, तो एनीवेयर बिटवीन आई वुड से 14-15% एनुअलाइज्ड रिटर्न्स दे हैव गॉट, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन वेदर दे हैव इन्वेस्टेड फॉर व्हाट पीरियड ऑफ टाइम. तो ये यदि आप लॉन्ग पीरियड ऑफ टाइम देखें, 20 इयर्स पीरियड को देखते हैं, तो रफली यू विल गेट अराउंड एनीवेयर बिटवीन 14-15% रिटर्न्स. It also depends upon how long you've stayed invested, when you have invested. But again, following a SIP mode would be even better. And it's always been found that equity returns have always been higher as compared to returns from debt or FD. So and always beats inflation by a heavy margin. Though equity returns are more volatile as compared to this. तो जनरली ये देखा गया है कि जो निफ्टी और सेंसेक्स हैं, एनुअलाइज रिटर्न्स में लास्ट 20 इयर्स की बात करूं तो एनीवेयर बिटवीन 14-15% रिटर्न्स एनुअलाइज रहेंगे, और दे आर फार बेटर एज कंपेयर्ड टू योर एफडी और डेट इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स. दैट्स द रीजन retail investors have significantly come into the markets they are trading also, they are investing also, depending upon their risk appetite and the time horizon which they have. तो ये काफी मतलब मेजर एक डेवलपमेंट हुआ है नाउ. अर्लियर क्या होता था कि एफआईआईज ही मार्केट को डिक्टेट करते थे टू वेरी ग्रेट एक्सटेंट. अब डीआईआईज, डोमेस्टिक इंस्टीट्यूशंस और रिटेल हैज आल्सो बिकम सच अ स्ट्रांग फोर्स. I would say roughly they would be pumping anywhere between a couple of billion dollars every month. So that brings strength to the market, and that is an inflow to the market. तो एफआईआईज पे डिपेंडेंट टू अ सर्टेन एक्सटेंट मार्केट है, बट उतना डिपेंडेंट नहीं है जैसा पहले था. तो ये भी एक मेजर डेवलपमेंट हुआ है. इसके अलावा एचएफटी, हाई फ्रीक्वेंसी ट्रेडिंग, ये एक मेजर डेवलपमेंट रहा है मार्केट्स में, चाहे वो इक्विटी हो, कमोडिटीज हो, करेंसी हो, इंडिया हो, ग्लोबल मार्केट्स हो. दैट हैज बीन अ मेजर आई वुड से चेंज. तो एचएफटी में क्या होता है, इट्स ऑल ऑटोमेटेड, मिली सेकेंड्स में ट्रेड्स एग्जीक्यूट होते हैं. एंड द एचएफटीज टुडे वुड बी फॉर्मिंग एनीवेयर बिटवीन, डिपेंडिंग अपॉन country to country, anywhere between 40% to 60-65% of the total volumes that happens on the exchange in a single day. So HFT has come up in a big way. So HFT has come up in a big way over the last I would say couple of decades. तो ये सब दो तीन चीजें जो बातें हुई हैं, ये काफी important है, and they are very interesting at the same time.
वाह सर, आपने कितना डिटेल में समझाया हमें. सो सर, इसमें फ्यूचर एंड ऑप्शंस का भी आई फील काफी इंपॉर्टेंस होगा, राइट? तो उसके साथ साथ अगर आप आईपीओस के बारे में भी, मतलब इन फैक्टर्स के बारे में अगर आप थोड़ा सा बता दे तो.
Yes, रुक्मिनी, फ्यूचर्स एंड ऑप्शंस के बारे में जरूर बात करेंगे, बिकॉज दिस अ वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक. Almost 2 decades we are having features and options, but over the last few years, we've seen a significant growth in the features and options volume, roughly around trillions of dollars on a daily basis. पे ट्रेडिंग होती है इन फ्यूचर्स एंड ऑप्शंस की, और वीकली ऑप्शंस के आने के बाद, इंडेक्स वीकली ऑप्शंस के आने के बाद, we've seen significant volumes there as well. तो फ्यूचर्स एंड ऑप्शंस में क्या हुआ है कि we've seen a technology change. So now technology is available to even the retail investors and traders. They can develop their strategies. Their learning has increased. You got so much of learning content on YouTube and other places, and that has helped people to understand wherever they might be in India, anywhere. Opening account has become easy. The rules and guidelines which SEBI comes forth with, that also makes it even more robust. The system's more robust for the traders and investors. So overall, the entire ecosystem has helped this market, and the best part is that you can learn a lot about futures and options from anywhere where you stay in India, while at the same time it helps you to understand and trade the markets better. Coming to the IPOs part, IPOs जो है generally हमने क्या देखा है कि IPOs, you see more IPOs coming when there is bullish sentiment. तो जब markets में the sentiment is bullish, you'll find more companies coming out with the IPOs because उनको लगता है कि they can raise more money from the markets. Likewise, when in a bearish market, you'll find the number of IPOs really drying down. तो IPOs कंपनी लेके आती हैं to raise capital for their expansion plans and to grow their business. So ये भी एक है interesting piece, but you have to be careful when investing in IPOs because many investors have burned their hands also in IPOs, whereas there have been IPOs which have given very good returns. So like the recent being of Tata Technologies, which has given excellent returns. So you have to be careful when you are investing in IPOs.
So sir, literally, like very honestly, आपसे बात करके मुझे समझ में आ रहा है like there are so many factors actually जिसके ऊपर market depend करता है. So sir, कुछ और interesting factors अगर है आपके पास जो आप हमारे दर्शकों के लिए share करना चाहेंगे, that would be great.
Yeah, see, markets are very interesting. I would say they are more interesting than a T20 match or I would say any other game because your money is there on the line when you are in the market because you are a participant in the market. जब matches हम लोग देखते हैं, चाहे वो football matches or cricket matches, or we are spectators. But when you are there in the market, you are a player. You're not a spectator. You're actually involved in the market, so it makes it even more interesting. But coming to some of the interesting facts, I would say ये जो liberalization 1991 में शुरू हुआ during the period of E.V. Narasimha Rao, our former prime minister, late prime minister, तो उसके बाद से the pace of reforms increased, but again then suddenly we had the Harshad Mehta scam in 1992, which really I was made the regulators and the government sit up, and then they formulated certain rules and guidelines, making it even more strict. Then we had the Ketan Parekh scam in 2001. Again, that was a scam wherein many of the stocks, I would say, really crashed significantly. There was a lot of wealth destruction also, which happened during that time. Then we had a major global financial crisis in 2008, wherein which is called the Lehman Brothers crisis due to the housing bubble and the subprime crisis in the US. And then the markets witnessed a major, I would say, correction. But look at today, again, markets, world markets, global markets, Indian markets are trading at record highs. So what the point here to understand is markets always will be, you'll find negative news coming in, negative news flows coming in, positive news flows coming in, but the long-term trajectory of the markets is a bull market. So you have to understand that, and then you have to ensure that you invest in stocks, in quality stocks, which are in companies which are, you know, that they're going to stay there for the next 20 years, 30 years, that sort of thing. If you're not very clear on that, stay invested in mutual funds. You can, if you don't want to invest in mutual funds, go into index ETFs. At least you'll get better returns as compared to FDs, but you need to do an SIP. तो ये सब करने की बहुत जरूरत है, and these are interesting and or important, I would say, asset classes which you can look at from a investing perspective and creating wealth from a long term perspective.
Thank you so much, Amar sir, for taking us through the historical journey of stock market. So, Amar sir, present में देखा जाए, then fintech and technology is playing a big role. So, does this impact the stock market also?
Yeah, definitely. Technology has completely transformed not only the stock markets, I would say each and every industry. Who would have thought some years back that there would be a company by the name of Oyo or Airbnb, companies which would really come up this way, or I would say Ola, Uber, wherein you can book your cabs so easily. So technology has completely revolutionized each and every industry. So talking about stock markets, here also you've got many startups, fintechs, which are collaborating with different market participants and coming up with ways and solutions to make it easier. Ultimately, what does a person want? He wants his life to be simpler and easier. So these companies are developing technologies in tie-up with market participants, how they can make it easy for the investors or traders to come onto the platform. But yes, at the same time, a lot of content is also being created by many of these companies, which help people to understand what are the do's and don'ts when you're getting into the market, because it's not always the green side, the greener side. You have to look at the others. So it is not always the greener side. You also have to look at the other side. Likewise, you've got the new technologies like blockchain. You've got cryptocurrencies is again another asset class, which still we as a country are grappling with how to deal with this asset class. Apart from that, you've got artificial intelligence, you've got neural network, you've got machine learning, and other, I would say, technologies which are now playing a part not only in the lives of hedge funds or FIIs who have large capital. Now they are percolating into the lives of the retail, wherein it's become comparatively far less expensive as it was 10 years, 15, 20 years back. So that also is giving an edge to those traders and investors who are willing to spend the time, the money, and put in the effort to enhance their skills.
Okay, so sir, technology इतनी advance हो रही है, नए reforms आ रहे हैं, which is a very nice thing, right? एक लास्ट सवाल है मेरा आपसे, which I'm very curious to know, कि total population में से कितने percentage of people do actually trade in the market?
I would say that still we are a far way to go, because if we look at our figures, we'll be roughly around the total India की population की बात करूँ तो roughly 3 to 4% of the population only would be somewhat involved in the markets, and we have the possibility of a tenfold increase from here going forward in the next decade or so. So the opportunities are huge, and if we compare ourselves with the developed economies, we are far far behind. But the best part is we've got a young generation. We've got young people who are willing to learn. We've got the technology. We've got the data connectivity now. The data internet data is also comparatively very cheap as compared to other places. The speed has increased. It's available all across the country, pan India. Wherever you go, you get good data speed. So these factors are enabling investors and traders to come into the market, and I would not say try out their luck, but basically develop the skill set, because luck can work with you or favor you only once or twice, but not all the time. But if you develop skill set, then luck will always be, not always, but will be on your side, and eventually you stand a chance of being successful in the markets. So the skill sets can be developed, and here again this technology is helping. But as I said, 3 to 4% is of the overall Indian population would be there active in some way in the market. So we have a long way to go, and we've got a very bright future.
Seriously, listening to the numbers that you share, I do understand that we do have a long way to go for sure. Thank you so much, Amar sir, for sharing all these interesting facts with us. I'm sure ये हमारे दर्शकों के लिए आज काफी helpful रहा होगा. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. If you have any further questions, do let us know in the comments below. I'm Rukmini Saha signing off. I will see you again in the next episode. Till then, happy learning.
Investments in securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing.